Hello everyone. In the last video in chapter 3 I showed you how to set up course content, but I realized I made a mistake. And so instead of just correcting the mistake, I thought this would be a good opportunity to show you how to copy and move things around in Blackboard. In the last video, when I made the course content and I started to outline the course content, we were in Module 4 and I added a Module Learning Guide, and I added two folders, a Module Lecture Materials folder and a Module Lab Materials folder. Now you'll notice that these have changed slightly. I added more description, I added what weeks we're covering and what chapters and labs we're covering in each one of those lab folders, and I showed you in the last video how to do that, how to modify the description of a folder. But one of the things I forgot was that in the module lecture materials, what I did is I only put chapter notes and quiz placeholders here. But in reality, I have 4 different chapters in this module, and so I want to organize chapter notes and chapter quizzes for each chapter. And so what I would normally do, and what I'm going to do, is I'm going to actually create folders for each one of those chapters. So I'll do that now. For instance, chapter 32 is going to be the first chapter in this particular module, and this was animal diversity. And of course I can create a description down here, and this is where I would have inside of this folder I'm going to have chapter notes and chapter quiz. So in this folder you will find the following contents. So I was a chapter notes and a chapter quiz. And again, I can go back at some point and make this nicer and add more information, but this is going to be pretty good for our purposes. I'm going to hit submit, and I have a folder. So the first thing I want to show you is how to move something. I want to move these 2 placeholders into this folder. It would be nice if I could just click and drag this on top of the folder like normal and go into that folder, but that's not how it works in Blackboard. Instead, you have to use the drop-down menu, click on Move, and as I scroll down, if I have other courses, I can even move it into other courses, but I'm going to leave it in this course, and I've got to find the destination folder. And so it's certainly not the easiest way to do this. This is the only way to do it, unfortunately. So I'm moving it into Module 4, and I'm moving it into the new folder, Chapter 32, that I made. I click on that, and then I'm going to hit Submit. It will disappear from here, but if I were to go into the folder, there it is in the folder. So I want to do that one more time. I want to move the chapter quizzes. I'm going to do the same process. I'm going to find my proper folder in Module 4, and now I have moved everything into this folder. Now I'm going to use my breadcrumbs back up here to go back to Module 4. Now I have 4 chapters in this particular module, and now I'll show you, and even though I've shown this to you before, I want to again re-emphasize it in this particular video. I'm going to show you how to copy this, and I want to make 4 copies of this that I can then alter into the different chapters. So let's go to, instead of move, we're going to go to copy. And the nice thing about copying a folder is it will copy all of the contents in the folder, with the exception of things that are graded. It will not copy some of those. It will not copy some of like exams and things like that. But as long as I have items, videos, things like that, it'll copy it. So I'm going to go and find my destination. I'm going to go to Module 4. I'm going to go to Lecture Materials, and I'm going to hit Submit. And now I have 2 copies of this, and this is the second copy. If I go into it, it also has those placeholders in it. So I'm going to do that for 2 more times, and I will be right back when I have those finished. In the meantime, I will not only copy those, but I will also rename the chapters here so that I'll see all 4 folders. Okay, I am back, and you can see that I have now created 4 folders that I have changed the chapter and titles to. And each one of these, as I click on it, will have these placeholders, something that we will deal with in subsequent lectures or videos. So just to recap, to copy or move something around in Blackboard, I can go to the drop-down menu and use copy or move. I can also delete, of course. If I decide to copy or move it, I can not only move it or copy it within this Blackboard site, but I can actually change destination courses. So I could choose another course that I'm teaching and I could put it into that particular course. So let's say, for instance, I put it into, these are old courses, I'm going to go down here to some of the newer ones. Let's say I decided to put it in a genetics course. It would then open up, if I hit destination folder browse, it will open up that course's folders, and then I can find which folder in that course I want to actually add it to. Now obviously in this case I don't want to do that. I'm going to cancel out, but when you hit submit, it would either move or copy that thing to the next to the other course. Again, there are some exceptions to this. If you make an assignment or a test, for instance, or a discussion, you cannot move that. You can move it within a course, but you cannot move it to another course. You can copy and move. You actually can't copy those either easily, but you definitely cannot move them to a different course. The only way to move those kinds of things into another course is to course copy, and that's an entirely different situation. Usually if I already have a class established online and I have a new semester, I can course copy one course into another, and that'll copy your whole course over, including those assignments and test pools and things like that. That's for a later time. It's definitely not something that you should be worrying about since you are building your course from scratch. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it helped you with moving and copying things around.